Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and greetings to all. My name is Muhammad Iqbal bin Muhammad Sanaf. I'm a third year medical student. I'm also the president for a residential college, Avicenna, or better known as College Kediaman Ibn Sina, 6 College, and also the speaker for Secretariat President College, Universiti Malaya. So today I'll be explaining what SPK-UM actually is. So SPK-UM, a brief history of SPK-UM. So Secretariat President College Universiti Malaya is a student representative body that comprises of all the college presidents of Universiti Malaya. So SPK was established back in 2008 with the sole purpose of ensuring that the welfare, harmony, and also the safety of all residents in all residential colleges in Universiti Malaya, and to be the bridge between the residents and also the university management. So basically, SPK-UM is the coalition or the combination of workforce from all the colleges in Universiti Malaya, where you can see from this picture here, where we have up to 12 colleges currently, where we hope to see more colleges in the future. So basically, this is all the presidents of all the colleges. They come together to form one organization to ensure that all the residents in all the colleges are taken care of. One of the very few things that we actually try to do is to ensure that the basic necessities or the basic welfares of all our residents are met. So the very few things we looked upon was usually electricity, water supply, and also internet access in the modern age, of course. So this is some of the few examples where we had a campus-wide blackout, where all the presidents came together and actually went on site to give a physical help to any of the technicians and also the university management itself. These are the very few examples where we also during the pandemic had constant lack of water. So we actually came into partnership with Air Selangor and also the university to actually help the students which were stuck in the university at that moment. And then that, Wi-Fi is a very big necessity in the modern age, as we were all in online classes, so we had to ensure that the internet access was good and stable enough for our students inside the residential college itself. So aside from the basic necessities that we actually try to uphold, we also cater and also try to maintain a stable accommodations fee for the residential colleges. So the very few things we actually try to look upon is making sure the accommodation fees were reasonable enough, also they were student friendly and also refundable, because during the pandemic itself we saw that students were going back and were studying online, so accommodation fee weren't really that of a priority at that time. So but we also ensured that these students made sure that they had their refunds. So those are the very few things we like to uphold. And so if in the future, if you guys have to go back, don't worry, you got your guests covered for that. So this is actually a very good timeline that we can actually observe from what SPK did. So we started off with a meeting with the management, because we believe that by working together we can actually come to a common ground to actually ensure that the residential college residents are taken care of and also the university is well maintained. So we started off with a meeting, then started off with a petition to get to know which students went back, and then we also got the agreement with the university to actually give refunds to the students who went back and were not physically in college at that time. So clearly from this graph you can see during the pandemic itself, some students were still stuck here in the campus, even though they were still in online classes due to unforeseen circumstances. That brings us to the next topic, where we actually try to help out our residents by taking care of their welfare security. So what this basically entitles is that sometimes during the pandemic, we can see that the working hours of cafeterias and stalls were limited to a certain period of time. We're all students here, so we know that you guys stay up to 3-4 a.m. in the morning. So food was a bit. It wasn't that you guys didn't have food, but at late hours it was a bit of a hassle and urgency not to have. So SSPK is actually one of like comprises of all the presidents in all the residential colleges. We actually have a particular set of skills which we developed through time to become where we are as presidents. So we establish our networks and our platforms. So we actually reached out to NGOs and organizations who actually supply some dry foods and packed foods for our students. So we can these are one of very few the countless of times we actually got to give back to the residents in the college during the pandemic itself. So other than that, once we saw an opportunity to send everybody back, which was a big deal for us at that moment, we straight away jumped and to meet with the management and came to an agreement that we can send the students back as soon as possible. So this is one of the very few times and pictures where we actually tried to send all of our residents back to their resident homes. So now for the fun part. So SPKUM is all about welfare and taking care of the basic necessities in the university itself. But we do have a fun aspect of it where we ensure that mental health is also taken care of, and one of the very few things that we see is stress. So how we actually help with that is actually by conducting various projects in university level, not only just in colleges but also in the university itself, where all the colleges can come together and also mix. So we think the diversity in there is really important. So these are some of the few big projects where if I were to explain everything now, this session will be longer than expected, and I don't think anybody, especially you guys, have the attention span. Neither do I. So, but I will come to a unique one. So like Spkum is just basically the campus sports day. Fesini is just the arts and culture. Kavita is the theatre part, and Spkum is the convocation day. So other than that, we had a blood donation drive, which we call Drops of Life, which was on a university level where we partnered up with PPUM or UMMC, Universiti Malaya Medical Center or the hospital, to actually set up a blood donation drive in all the college residential colleges to actually supply blood back to the hospital, which I think was really eventful, as we don't want just our students to study smart but also have a heart. So other than that, we also ensure that all of our residents are well informed. So we try our best to actually be the matriculants, which is a fancy word for students, information center. So most times where we see when there's a big info that most of everybody needs to know, we would make live sessions to ensure that the students have the freedom to actually ask back whenever we can. And this is actually one of very few things which we try to do the most in the pandemic, to ensure that everybody gets the right information at the right time in the right situations. And so being the bridge that we want to is to ensure that we can relay what the students want to us to the management, and also what the management wants us to relay to the students. So it's a very nice symbiosis there. So these are the various platforms that we actually use: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Telegram, and WhatsApp. And we, due to the fact that we're all presidents of our own colleges, we have access to all the WhatsApp groups in all the colleges to ensure that everybody disseminates the right information to all the residents in the colleges. So if that's all from me, but if you guys have any questions, just hit us up. Like you can contact us either via email or any of the social media platforms there. So again, congratulations for getting into one of the most prestigious universities in Malaysia, and hope to see you guys soon. Alright, sekian, terima kasih, and thank you.